Welcome to Steady Growth, where we build money, character, and resilience the same way. Small, steady, and on purpose. No hype, just honest steps that add up. Let's begin. Tonight, at some point, you're going to brush your teeth. You won't psych yourself up for it. You won't watch a motivational video first or remind yourself of your reasons or feel guilty about skipping it, because you won't skip it. The behavior will simply happen the way it has thousands of times, using exactly zero willpower. Now hold that next to the behaviors you actually want in your life. The exercise, the saving, the reading, the early bedtime, the ones that die every few weeks no matter how motivated you feel on day one. And if you've ever quietly wondered, why can't I stick to anything? I want you to hear this clearly. The problem was never you. Here's the real puzzle. Why does one behavior run itself forever, for free, while the others need constant fuel and still stall? It's not because teeth brushing is easy and exercise is hard. It's because one of them is a routine, physically wired in, and the others are still running on willpower. And willpower is finite. It fades as the day wears on and the decisions pile up, and it's at its lowest exactly when temptation is highest. So today I want to show you the machinery, what a habit actually is, mechanically, inside your head, why routines beat willpower every time the two compete, and the simple recipe for taking any behavior you care about and moving it from the expensive system to the free one. Here's the machinery, and it's almost disappointingly simple. Every habit you have, good, bad, or invisible, is the same three-part loop. Researchers call it the habit loop. First, a cue, some trigger in your world, a time of day, a place, a feeling, the thing you just finished doing. Second, the routine, the behavior itself. And third, a reward, some payoff, even a tiny one, that tells your brain, that was worth it, save this program. Walk into the bathroom at night, cue. Brush, routine. Clean mouth feeling, day complete, reward. Phone buzzes, cue. Check it, routine. Little hit of novelty, reward. Stressful afternoon, cue. Snack drawer, routine. Brief comfort, reward. Run a loop enough times, and your brain does something remarkable. It chunks the whole sequence into a single unit and hands it down to the deep, ancient, energy-saving part of your mind. The same machinery that lets you drive a familiar route home without remembering the drive. The behavior stops being a decision and becomes a reflex with a trigger. That's all a habit is, a loop that ran enough times to get automated, which means your brain treats your best routines and your worst ones with perfect indifference. It simply keeps whatever got repeated. Now you can see why routines beat willpower in any long fight. Willpower is finite, drained by every decision, lowest exactly when temptation is highest. A routine doesn't draw on that reserve at all. It runs on wiring. One costs you something every single day. The other was paid for once in repetitions and now runs free. And here's the finding that should change how you see your whole day. Habit researchers who had people log their daily actions found that roughly 40% of what we do each day isn't decided at all. It's habit, performed in the same context, on autopilot, while our conscious mind is off somewhere else. Nearly half your life is running on loops you mostly didn't choose on purpose. Sit with that for a second because it's both unsettling and wonderfully hopeful. Unsettling because so much of what you call my choices is really my programming. Hopeful because programming can be rewritten, and because it means the people who seem effortlessly disciplined aren't winning 40 willpower battles a day. They're not fighting at all. Their defaults do the work. Picture a path through a field. The first walk is effort, pushing through tall grass. Every time you walk it, you flatten it a little more. Eventually, it's a paved road, and your brain, which loves a paved road, takes it automatically. The grass and the pavement don't care which behavior they carry. They just carry whatever walked there most. So how do you install a routine you actually want? Like a mechanic, not a hero. 3 moves. Move 1, Pick the cue on purpose, and the strongest trick is anchoring the new behavior to a routine you already have. Not, I'll exercise more. That has no trigger, but after I pour my morning coffee, I do 10 push-ups. The existing habit becomes the alarm clock for the new one. Move 2. Shrink the routine until it's almost embarrassing. 10 push-ups, not a gym hour. 1 page, not a chapter. Because in the early days, you're not building fitness or knowledge, you're building the loop, and the loop only forms through repetitions. And repetitions only happen if the behavior is small enough to do on your worst day. Make it so small you can't talk yourself out of it. Move 3, the one almost everyone skips, let the reward register. The brain only saves loops that pay off, so give it the payoff. Check the box. Say, done, out loud. Take 2 seconds to actually feel the small win instead of rushing straight past it. Cue, tiny routine, felt reward. Repeat. You're not trying to be impressive. You're trying to be repeated, because repetition is the only currency the wiring accepts. And here's where this lands hardest, because almost nobody frames it this way. Your financial life is mostly habits wearing a trench coat. We imagine money outcomes are made of big decisions, the house, the job, the investments. But day to day, your money runs on loops. Board in line, cue, open the shopping app, routine. Little dopamine spark, reward. Long week, cue, we deserve takeout. Routine, relief, reward. None of these are decisions anymore. They were once, and then they got paved, which means the 40% rule applies straight to your wallet. A huge share of your spending this month will happen on autopilot, in the same context as last month, no matter your intentions. So the highest leverage money move isn't a stricter budget, it's swapping the loops. Notice the cue, keep the cue, change the routine. Board in line becomes open the savings app and watch the balance growing instead. And install one tiny keystone loop on purpose, the weekly money minute. Same day, same coffee, 60 seconds glancing at the accounts. Cue, routine, and the reward is calm, that quiet, I know exactly where we stand feeling. Pair those chosen loops with automatic transfers that move your money the moment it lands, and something lovely happens. Your money starts running on rails and loops you chose, instead of loops that quietly chose you. Now, let me be honest with you, because on this channel, calm and accurate beats clever, and the habit world is full of clever. First, the famous 21 days to form a habit is a myth. It traces back to a plastic surgeon named Maxwell Maltz, who in the 1960s noticed it took his patients about 3 weeks to adjust to a new face or a missing limb, an observation about grief and self-image that somehow got laundered into a law about habits. When scientists actually measured how long behaviors take to become automatic, the answer was, it depends, a lot. In one careful study, it ran from about 3 weeks to the better part of a year, with the typical time landing around 2 months, and the harder the behavior, the longer it took. So if your new routine still takes effort at day 30, nothing is wrong with you. The paving just isn't finished. Second, and this one should lift a real weight off your shoulders, missing a single day made no meaningful difference to whether the habit formed. The loop is built by the trend, not the streak. One missed morning doesn't erase the path, only abandoning the path does. So the only rule that really matters is this: never miss twice. And third, this machinery is completely neutral, which means it is also exactly how your worst patterns got installed, and a paved road doesn't unpave just because you feel bad about it. Breaking a bad loop is less about willpower and more about cue removal. Make the trigger invisible, make the routine inconvenient, and about replacing rather than erasing. Keep the cue, swap what it sets off. Be patient in both directions. The wiring took months to lay down. Give it months to relay. So here's the whole idea to carry with you. You are not in a daily character contest, and the people who seem to win at habits aren't stronger than you. They're just further along in the paving. Roughly 40% of your day, and more of your money life than you'd like to admit, is already running on loops. The only real question is whether they're loops you chose. So choose a few. Anchor the cue to something you already do, shrink the routine until it can survive your worst Tuesday, let the reward land, and then repeat, not perfectly, just persistently, while the path quietly flattens under your feet for about 2 months, missing days here and there, and simply never missing twice. Use willpower for the one thing it is genuinely great at, getting a new loop started. Then hand the loop to the machinery and let the machinery do what it does best. Carry the behavior for free for years, including on the days you feel like doing nothing at all. Willpower starts it, routine keeps it. That's not a slogan, it's an instruction manual, and it is the most mechanical, least magical, most reliable form of steady growth there is. If something here was useful today, the best thing you can do is use it tonight in one small way. And if you'd like to keep growing with us, you're welcome in our tribe at familycreative.org. It's where we gather the tools and resources we build for people doing this on purpose, and where you can learn more, share what's working, and help someone a few steps behind you. That's the whole point. Small, steady, together. Be kind, try hard, do the work, build the family. We'll see you in the next one.